Good morning and welcome to our Live Talk program. This is Lloyd Grubb here, your host on Revive Reform Radio, doing our Live Talk program covering natural health. And this year, Wednesday, Rise and Shine and Give God the Glory. And today we're looking at the topic simple and natural diet, remedies, lifestyle, and treatment modalities. So, welcome again. Thanks for being with me here. Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, I thank you for your word in this day. I pray, the Lord, that you may bless us as we look at these things, and may you bless my mind and those listening that we might truly live healthier lives. This is my prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. So thanks for being with me here on Revive Reform Radio. I'm looking at this topic for today, and I'm continuing my theme. So my topic is simple and natural diet, remedy, lifestyle, and treatment modalities. So we want to be able to approach life that what is simple or need to be simple, we keep it simple. And so unless you fall apart or you're in an emergency or you have a catastrophic illness or something, you deal with it with just basically diet, lifestyle, exercise, treatment modalities that are simple and natural. So that's how you do life. So this is what I want to encourage you here, that as you go through your day-to-day life, you deal with the obvious and you deal with the simple, and don't wait until an emergency, and you deal with emergencies as they are emergencies. And if you do life like that, then life can be just simpler and better. And so this is how you want to do life. So this is our process of meditation for today. So we start here. So in my theme for this week is revive the spirit of the humble and the heart of the contrite. And so we want to be able to go at life as in contrition and in humility. Whatever we're doing wrong, we want to be able to correct those things. And whatever we're doing right, we want to keep doing whatever we're doing right because it's right. And when we do life like that, then we get better results. So one of the things that we must do right is on a day-to-day basis, we must always consider nutrients and things that we do to increase our health or to maintain our health. And in Isaiah 57, verse 15 and 16, it says, "Thus says the high and lofty one that inhabit eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place, with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble, and to revive the heart of the contrite ones. For I will not contend forever, neither will I be always wrought, for the spirit should fail before me, and the soul which I have made." So God is not always going to contend with us. God sooner or later will have to let us go. But one of the things that we can know that will revive us and give us a better experience is this idea of natural health, where we do natural health and when we do proper diet, foods that are nutritious foods that are limit as much as possible any type of contamination and so forth. Clean diet, clean lifestyle, simple diet, simple lifestyle. Treatment modalities that are simple and can be done on a day-to-day basis. This gives us better results. As I say, we leave emergency situations for emergency situations. If you're in an emergency, then you deal with that emergency. But from a day-to-day lifestyle, we don't go for the big hits. We just go for the continuous supplementation to maintain our health and to regain our health and even to improve our health. So the word revive simply means give new strength or energy to. So one of the best things we can do to give new strength or energy to is with what we do from day to day, of exercise, our way we sleep, the way we eat, the way we supplement it. And I'm going to deal with supplementation later on in the program because we have to always ingest and take in from the outside. So we always start with that. And so everything that we do, the intention is to strengthen and to increase energy. And this can be a revival, can be that with health. We can get a truly revival. Revival also is to restore. Revive to is restore to life and consciousness. So when we supplement, we're always going to increase our mental function and our physical function. And so it is with our food. When we eat food, we're trying to do the same thing. When we sleep, we're trying to do the same thing. We are constantly doing things in our lifestyle, our diet, that constantly put us in a better footing or maintain what we have. Is revive is to bring to come or to bring something back to life. So if you're facing ill health, when you revive it, you bring it to light or bring it to health, which is what we're talking about today, or into existence, so you can have a fresh experience if you follow some of the things I'm going to be talking about today. And into use, you want to be able to give yourself the best use and the best possible process. In Exodus 3, verse 1, 2, and 3, we read the story of Moses. So now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock by the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of God, even Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses says, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. So here you have this concept here that I've been talking about from Monday. This idea here of the lowly, that the Lord appeared veiled in the presence or in the bush. And it's a bush that is on fire, but it's a lowly bush, it's a lowly shrub, it's a lowly plant, it's a lowly tree, but yet is on fire. And when we approach the Lord, this is what we approach him as long as we're on this earth. God always comes to us veiled in something that is simple, but it's something that is simple that is amazing. And that's the whole life that we live here on this earth. And we approach health in the same way. We look at the simple and we see the simple similar to the burning bush. It is on fire. It is something that's so important that when you use natural remedies and natural health, it can be amazing the results you get for simple minerals. Simple minerals. One of the things I'm going to talk about primary here is minerals and just the natural earthen things that we use. And so without minerals, because we from ashes and we from dust, as we say, we return to ashes and to dust. And we're just simple minerals from clay, and then we go from clay and to the breath of life, and we became a living soul. And so our bodies need minerals, and our bodies need minerals. But minerals, you would say, is really something from dirt. And we are from dirt, and we need organic or bioavailable minerals. But still, we need minerals. But if you look at that concept, and we're in a modern world, as they say, quote unquote, modern world, with all these modern sick people, with all kind of genetic mutation, and you say to the modern world, listen, what you need is some earth. You need things from the soil. You need things that are simple. This is simple food. They'll say we're civilized and we have advanced. And the more advancement and the more things they do is the more chronic diseases and weird diseases that we see. So here I'm here to tell you that similar to the burning bush, that we need to look to the natural remedies, the regular things that we do from day to day, as that bush that is on flame. And we humble ourselves and we have contrition and we repent of our past. And we just approach our natural health with just simple. And just simply look at it that unless there's an emergency, unless there's something that is massive that's happening, we approach it in a simple way. We don't look for miracles when we have instructions. Does that make sense? We don't look for miracles when we have instructions. If you have an instruction to do something, you do it the right, simple way. You just do it. You're not looking for a big bang from the Lord, a big hit, big whatever. You just do the simple thing that you need to do because that's the simple process. If you're tired, you just need to sleep. It's just simple, right? It's about the sleep is like a burning bush. It's a miracle. When you wake up, how revived you feel, how better you feel. If you're thirsty, you need some water. And when you drink water, when you're extremely thirsty especially, you just feel amazing. And you just feel just so much better. It's a revival. So we look at it in the simplest saying that everything that we do, we just approach it simple. If there's not a miracle, as I say, if you're not in the lion's den, You're not in a den of lions and about to get eaten. You don't need a big miracle. You need a big miracle when you're in a big situation. Other than that, we just approach life properly, and it just says, you just do life with the proper process. But if you're not in a extreme experience where you're probably in a car accident and you're mangled up, and you need 5, 10 surgeons to sew you back up together, then you just approach life simple and just do life simple and just do what you're supposed to do. So this is what we're talking about here. So we approach life like the burning bush. It is things in nature, herbs and various different things in nature that we partake of that are like a burning bush. It's just a simple bush, but it has miraculous powers. It has powerful healing properties that will change your life and change your mind, literally. So we approach life like that. The bush is on fire. All right. In John chapter 9, verse 5 through 7, John 9, verse 5 through 7, Christ says, now, as long as I'm in the world, I am the light of the world. So we serve Jesus, the lowly Galilean, the carpenter's son, the humble servant, and yet he's like a burning bush. You look at him and he looks lonely, he looks probably unattractive, unappealing, but when he comes, he's on fire. His preachings doesn't sound like the modern day Pentecostal preaching with all the noise and humming and hawing and heeing. It's just simply talk. But yet what he says are profound. So profound that you could, as I say, often, I remember when I was younger, I'd read a passage of scripture and Christ would say something. And I'm like, okay, that seems, just some words. And then people take up stones and want to kill him. And you'd be like, okay, what did I miss? And realize, it's the words. It's not the way he say it or whatever. It's just simple words, but they're profound words. So much that people just get mad. They wouldn't be glad. So in John chapter 9, verse 6 now, it says, when he had spoken thus, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle. And he anointed the eyes of the blind with the clay. And he said unto him, go, wash in the pool of Siloam, which is by interpretation sent. And he went his way before and washed and came seeing. So this was a blind man that could not see, obviously because he's blind. And the Lord took some clay and he made a poultice, what we'll call modernly a poultice. The Lord took some clay and he put it on the blind man's eye, but he put his spittle. And as they would say, often virtue would come from him. And the Lord showed that you can use simple natural remedies. And yet we believe that is the power of the Lord to heal. But yet the Lord showed an example that you can just use something simple. So we need minerals. We need simple remedies for our disease. As I say, if you're not in an emergency right now, you just approach it simple. So if you have a problem with your heart, if you have a problem with your kidney, your liver, your brain, your eye, your first order of business is to apply simple remedies internally and externally to solve the problem. If you still go into the emergency, or if you already were in an emergency and you're on something that is modern science or modern medicine, you do what you have to do. First order of business is to cause no harm to yourself and cause no pain to yourself. You fix the problem with what is available in an emergency setting. So if you had a heart attack, you deal with that. You deal with that fast, quick, with whatever means available. But after you come to some regularity, your first order of business second order of business is to treat yourself with what is available. Diet, exercise, herbs, supplements. As I say, today I'm going to deal with minerals. And you start to increase your minerals, because whatever problem you're having, it's almost guaranteed that there's a mineral you're deficient in. And so that deficiency over the years, and I'm going to talk about some of these, will increase or what do say, it will decrease, but increase if you understand the deficiency. And you will end up with a disease. A lot of disease, I would say probably most disease, happen because there's a deficiency. There's something that we're missing inside of us. And a lot of it is going to be a mineral, some mineral that we're deficient in. I'll primarily focus on two minerals today, zinc and selenium. And I'll mention some other ones in passing. But you need some clay. You need some salt. Without salt, we'll die because we get minerals from salt. But we sometimes have to increase those minerals. So we would normally say, out of all things that we partake of, that are organic, the thing that we need, probably number one is salt. Salt is supposed to have multiple minerals, but primary minerals is sodium and all of a sudden I forget. So sodium is a primary mineral and chloride. So we need a mineral, and this is something that we cannot deal with. We're not only supposed to be minerals or salt, but we're supposed to need minerals. But we're from the dust. But it so happened that everything else we need is needed in bioavailable forms. But you can become so deficient that your food or diet is not given to us. And because we grow food on soil that is, it's fertilized by coal tar derived, I think over the years we become slowly but surely mineral deficient. And the longer we have mineral deficiency, the more acute it is, it will end up becoming disease. And so we have to be able to understand that we are from clay. We have life. It's a miracle that we don't understand. I don't know. Nobody knows. Only God knows how this works. But at the end of the day, we need our supplementations and we need minerals. We normally can get our minerals from anything that's grown in the ground, primarily from carrots, beets, so forth. But that's why it's always important to buy carrots and beets that are grown in the soil and organically. But somehow, sometimes the soil is not mineral rich, and that affects us. And then sometimes we're growing on soil that is not only not mineral rich. They fertilize it, and then it's grown fast and it's picked young, so it doesn't get to develop and concentrate the minerals in those things. So yams, all those things normally should be mineral rich, but most of the time they're not. So Christ turned the clay. He took the clay and put it on the blind man. And so here for me, the background thing I'm saying, the major thing I want you to understand, and is I want you to understand it in a high degree. That means what I'm saying is not simple, but it's simple what I'm saying, is that we need outside stimuli. As human beings, we do produce stuff, but we produce it from raw material. And so you always need outside. You need the sun, the moon, the stars, so to speak. You need food. You need your nutrients from outside, food, and so forth. There's certain things that the body does, but it needs outside minerals, outside nutrients. As I say, when you get this, if you have a disease, you want to focus on what minerals and what nutrients the body needs. That if it doesn't have those have those nutrients, your body you have sickness. Can't overemphasize this. I could tell you a lot of things. This is probably the most important thing in health that I can tell you. Deficiencies end up in diseases. You got to address your deficiency. If you don't address your deficiency, you will be diseased. And you can solve diseases by simply addressing your deficiency. It's a miracle. It's a burning bush. I don't know how I expect to explain it. What I just said to you is worth thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. If you understand and your health is important to you, your heart will fail, your brain will fail if you don't have certain nutrients. And I can tell you, swim, exercise, run, bike, all kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know what else to say. There's nothing more to me important. We're from ashes and we're from dust, so to speak. We're from dust and we need nutrients. And we need it from the soil, and primarily we need it from vegetables, especially because of sin. But a lot of the soil is not, the food is mineral deficient. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 29, it says, "And God says, Behold, I've given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is a fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat." So our food was supposed to be plant-based, not animal-based. But because of sin, we partake of animals. And so this creates more danger in our system, more diseases introduced to the system, and all the bad factors that comes with animal eating. Then the earth has been beaten up and affected, and so we need to be able to put stuff inside of us that's going to make us better. In Genesis 2, verse 9 through 9 and 10, it says, "And out of the ground the Lord God, and out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil." So when God made us, we were made to be fruitarians. After sin, Genesis 3:18 introduced this idea that we need plants because sin. And what I can say definitely is that plants are needed because of the damage that sin has brought upon us. Plant has the nutrients, and plants has to somewhat die for us to live. So for me personally, I take supplements, herbal supplements on a daily basis. Daily supplementation of herbal supplements, and then minerals. And this is important for us. We can't live without this. And so because of sin, and there's always something that needs to correct in my body personally. And so I supplement on a daily basis, once or twice a day, for herbs and minerals. So important. So the tree of life, to come out of the ground, there's always a connection with the ground. We're people of the soil. And so we have to recognize that. Notice here, on minerals again, Genesis chapter 2, verse 10. "And the river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it parted and became into four heads." So we were supposed to drink also mineral-rich water, so water that is not filtered. So for me, my water is H2O. I filter my water with multiple filters. The problem with that is that you remove the natural minerals. So if you go to a spring, you drink spring water, certainly what you'll be getting is minerals in your body. It would be low concentration, but it would be minerals again. But because the waters are so contaminated, a lot of time we have to drink filter water. The filter take down, not all of it, because I think it goes down to 5 microns, which is, it's a lot of filtration. You're getting down to 5 microns. So I think a HEPA filter gives you about 20 microns, which is very small. So sediments will come through a regular filter, then 20 microns get rid of most of that sediment, and then you do like a charcoal filter with EPA, you're getting about 5 microns. So by the time you get through that, almost nothing come through. That means no sulfur, no copper, no selenium, no iron, none of those things that will come through. So if you're taking like now water that is from a river that is being fed by a spring, it's running through rocks, and then you're going to get some minerals. So one of the things I did because of this, I don't know how much it's helping me, but there's a filter I found that it remineralizes the water. So it would do the charcoal and HEPA, but at last it runs the water through rocks. I hope it's working. It runs the water through rocks, and maybe one day I remember to take a picture and show, but you can find it. I bought it on Amazon. So it runs the water through rocks, and the aim is that it's going to put back some minerals in the water. And so I use that water for the water spigot, the tap I use to get water out of, not the water I use for, washing my plates, but the other thing, whatever you call that thing. So the water comes out, and the water is remineralized because over the years I've realized, wait a minute, I'm filtering, probably somebody could say excessive. I'm running through probably 3 filters, 4 filters. And so the 5th filter, what happened, I used to do another filter to drink. but I realized that I'm drinking pure H2O. But Adam and Eve would have been drinking mineral water because their water would be coming from a spring. Because normally a river, as you know, is how would I say this? A river is spring fed. You know, I have a lake behind me, or next to my house, not behind me, and but it has some springs, and the springs run into the lake. The lake capture that water, and then it run off. So, but you know, there's so much contamination and stuff. But there's times that you can buy water from various different places that they say it's a pure spring, and they pump the water. You know, they get the water from the spring and they fill it in bottles and they sell it to you. So we will see that there's this constant. Well, it's not, the Bible doesn't emphasize it. I'm just piecing it together. But there's a thing about the dust. We're from the dust. We're from earth. We're from clay. And as you know, I'm one of the people who believe in using clay for facial mask and stuff like that. So we're getting clay, and in that clay is minerals. It's mineral rich. And it's the same thing when we talk about a spring water. So Adam and Eve would get that water, and the water will come through the spring and then come the river, and you would drink that water, and that water will be giving you some low dosage, I believe, of various different minerals. And also, when I was younger, I used to see older people would go to the sea, and they would sit in the sea and soak. I never really understood why, but they say it was good for health. That's all. I didn't really understand in the sense of practical. As I've gotten older now, I realize the importance of soaking. So for me, I have like Dead Sea salt. I'm assuming they're legit and they're telling me right, because salt has a high concentration of minerals, and when you soak in it, you get those minerals through your skin. I don't know how much I buy available and stuff, but I can feel the difference. And then Epsom salt. Epsom salt and minerals are high. Those mineral salts are stuff are high in magnesium. For me personally, I tell you, I use magnesium. I use a blend of Epsom salt and mineral salt daily, externally, not internally. So externally, I use it on a daily basis. And if you have any problems with muscle cramps, if you're somebody that jogs, exercise a lot, you want to externally use on your muscles that you use, primarily these mineral oil, magnesium oil, and Epsom salt. So if you have ever seen somebody soaking in Epsom salt, I always knew what it does, but from a practical point of view, I never used it until more recently. I start on a daily basis use Epsom salt. I just use a blend of magnesium oil and Epsom salt to increase the amount of magnesium in my body. Now, I sometimes get muscle cramps, and when I get muscle cramps, it can be very painful. It is very painful. And within minutes, probably 5 minutes the most, if it's not extreme but just normal muscle cramps, I can tell you it is a miracle. It is a massive painkiller, because what magnesium does, it blocks the pain receptacles. I'm not saying that right, but the pain receivers. I don't know how to say that. So magnesium does that. Magnesium is a natural blocker, inhibit the transfer of the pain, and is also relax the muscle. And it can be extreme if you've ever had muscle cramps. And if you want to just test the mineral concept that I'm talking about, you will be amazed of how powerful this thing I'm telling you. You will be in an extreme muscle cramp, and magnesium will shut it down within minutes. Sometimes, if it's not too extreme, it could be seconds, minutes, and it just goes. And you'll be like, this is amazing. Like any powerful chemical. As a matter of fact, if you're in a clinical setting, probably almost all females experience this but don't know. So in a birthing setting, when a woman is giving birth, they will put magnesium. Obviously now I'm forgetting what it is. It's not citrate, but it's magnesium, whatever. But whatever magnesium Epsom salt is, they'll put the Epsom salt in a drip IV fluid, and they'll infuse it. They'll give it to the woman in her vein. So that's how powerful it is. When a woman is going to go into childbirth, it is magnesium that they give. Other than like epidural, they'll flood the woman with magnesium, and magnesium will deal with a lot of the pain and a lot of the spasms, what they call clamshire and preeclampsia. So if you look it up, magnesium, I can't remember what it is, but Epsom salt is what it is. If you look at whatever magnesium is, all of a sudden I forget. But if you look at magnesium, whatever that is, for clamshire and preeclampsia, that's what they give in the IV bags. So even in a medical setting, in a modern medical setting, they don't call it Epsom salt, they call it magnesium, whatever. But if you look at what magnesium, Epsom salt is. So what I'm talking about here is the degree. I could say something you could think, when I say it's a miracle how powerful magnesium is, somebody could say, oh, okay, he's saying something, okay, probably it's important, but it's not that important. Well, one of the most powerful pain somebody could have is, other than an accident, would be birthing, giving birth or something like that, clamshire, preeclampsia. And that is magnesium they give. So that I'm telling you how powerful this is. So I could say something, and probably because I'm not jumping and screaming, somebody can understand how important it is. But in a modern setting, there is nothing other than probably something in the opiate range that could be more powerful to take care of pain. So that's what they give to women in all hospitals across the United States for clamshire or preeclampsia in IV bag. So that's how important that is. So if you use it, if you're in pain for like whatever, there's nothing much more powerful. Magnesium oil, which is one type of magnesium, and then Epsom salt, which is another type of magnesium. I use both on a daily basis. If I have a cramp or whatever, if I exercise and I'm cramping up, I use that, and it's like a miracle. So we need minerals, and the minerals are important for us. Without the minerals, we don't maintain proper health. Notice there in Isaiah chapter 38 and verse 21. Isaiah 38 and verse 21. It says here, for Isaiah had said, let them take a lump of fig and lay it for a plaster, what we would normally call a poultice, a plaster upon the boil, and he shall recover. He shall recover. This is the story of Hezekiah. He's about to die, and he prayed to the Lord and asked the Lord to heal him. And instead of the Lord working a miracle via Isaiah the prophet, the Lord simply told Isaiah, or instructed, to put a plaster. And the natural remedy of putting a plaster of fig on the boil and a lump of figs on the boil, I don't know how they held it there, he was healed. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So this is how you want to approach your natural health. You want to be able to apply things. So you use the obvious means, the simplest means. Somebody said, well, Lloyd, what if I have this massive means that I need to use? Well, as I tell you, there's even even the hospitals, they still use some of these simple means to this day. But you might not recognize it because it's in an IV bag, but it doesn't mean that they don't use them. So you want to be able to use what they use. And then if you're in an emergency that you can't, well, you just go to the people that are expert in emergencies. I'm just here as, I believe, an expert in using just the simple things. And the simple things will give you powerful results. That's what I'm talking about here, because we're talking about reviving. So some of the things now I want to talk to you about is this concept here. So I have two different things I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about, what is it I want to talk to you about? I want to talk to you about, I said it earlier, zinc and selenium. Zinc and selenium, these are things that, as I say, I supplement with zinc and selenium and stuff like that. So I'm using minerals more. As I say, for me, I use daily herbal remedies and herbal supplementations, but also I use minerals because I believe we're from dust. That's my philosophy. So notice here, now I'm going to take this article, and I'm primarily going to focus, I'm going to talk about zinc towards the end there in this article, but I'm just going to take part of the introduction. And this article is from the National Institute of Health, and it's entitled Dietary Supplements for Immune Function and Infectious Disease. So if you're a person that's normally having a cold regular, or you sometimes suffer from colds, flus, you know what I'm talking about, them things there, any of those things. You want to consider that it's not a guarantee, but it's a high probability that you're deficient and probably severely deficient in selenium and zinc. All right, and then some of these other things that it's going to mention here. But my focus is going to be these two minerals. Since I'm talking about minerals, I can't talk about all of them, but I talk about these two. And you want to really take this into consideration. And if you're trying to recover from any disease, and I'm going to talk about some of them here, you want to be able to supplement on these things on a daily basis. Now, why I say supplement? Because obviously, if you're eating and you're having these things, that means you're not getting, my assumption is you're not getting. I could be 100% wrong, or it could be 50% wrong to the degree. I don't know what your situation is. But you have to do this and then do your own research and then test and see. And if it doesn't fix your problem, then, you know, as long as you didn't get sick, no harm, no foul. But you have to do your own research and follow whatever I'm saying here and then see if this might be good for you. So let's go. So you have to consider that if you're having a person with any type of disease, all the disease I'm going to mention, you got to understand that if you're having these problems, supplementation is good. Is important because your diet is not fixing your problem. So obviously there's something wrong. Notice now, this part now on the article, I'm not taking the whole article, it's a massive article, just a piece of it I'm going to take. You can always go to NIH or just type in diet supplements for immune function and infection. So this is from the government. So this is why it's important to know this is from the government. This is what your government is telling you. This is what you pay the tax dollars for. Consuming a nutritious variety of foods help maintain overall good health and strong immune function. Obtaining adequate amounts of vitamins and minerals is also important for good health. And deficiency of certain vitamins and minerals include vitamin A, B6, B12, C, D, E, K, folate, copper, iodine, iron, magnesium, selenium, zinc might adversely affect your immune function. So as I was saying, any disease you have that has to do with your immune function, understand that if you're deficient in A, B, B6, B12, C, obviously vitamin C, massive importance. I'm not dealing with that today because vitamin C is the glue in your body. It's the thing that is a food for your immune system. So when you think about white blood cell and you say, what do they need to eat to keep strong and healthy? Vitamin C. Without vitamin C, you're just dead in the water when it comes on to anything that immunity because you have to feed it. If a person having skin problems, collagen problems, the skin look all beaten up, vitamin C externally, internally. But that's not our beef today here. I'm just telling you, if you look at your skin and you look mashed up and your skin look dry and beaten up, vitamin C, internally, externally, more orange, more lemon, more lime, supplementation, vitamin C, call it a supplement, but facial treatments. Your body needs it. You know, you can just look at yourself and you can tell. You know, I look at a person, I see deficiency all over them. That's how I look because of all this information in my mind. So notice here, K, and then folate. Folate is for cell reproduction and, when cell proliferation. And that's why mothers, when they're doing cell proliferation, when they're pregnant, they need folate acid or folate. Copper, right? So notice now, copper, important, right? So you see you need these minerals. You need gold. Remember Moses that supplement the people when they rebelled against God the Lord. Moses grind up the gold and said you need it internally. So we need copper and iron and gold and all these metals, a trace amount inside of our system. If we don't get it, our body's going to be sick. So you need to be gold, but internally. And iodine is important for the in production of hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Without iodine, we don't produce enough acid to break down our food. And so sometimes you have to supplement on iodine. Iodine is something, I think I'm going to do a program on that one day. Iodine is something I supplement with. I take iodine on a daily basis. Iodine is good for the thyroid also. So as I say, everything I say here, you take it with a grain of salt. That's another supplement. So notice here, iron. All right. So you need iron, all right, for your car, but also for your body. And you need magnesium, Again, because we're mineral, we need selenium and zinc. So that's what I'm going to talk about, selenium and zinc. So notice here, and if you don't have that, according to your government, and according to my government, and the people we pay to research these things from our taxes, they saying to you will be adversely affected. So I don't want you to be adversely affected. I want you to have a revival in your health. Notice here, so examples of the, so to give you a little tidbit of what they were going to talk about, and to give you some examples of why these minerals and nutrients are important. Folate deficiency affect thymus and spleen function and decrease the T lymphocyte levels. So if you don't have folate, the immune system just won't work properly. And vitamin B12, if you want to be energized, vitamin B12, this is something I sometimes take daily, sometimes I don't. But I take it every now and then because I know I'm in the building all the time. So notice here, vitamin B12 deficiency decrease the phagocyte capacity of the neutrophil. So for the whole function of the immune system, you can see decrease, whether it be to find what the thing is, whatever is the virus, bacteria, and then to learn it, and then to surround it, to kill it, all will be go on attack, all will be decreased. Vitamin A deficiency is associated with increased susceptibility to infections. So vitamin A, it alters immune response and it impairs the ability of the epithelial tissues to act as a barrier to pathogens. So even the barrier becomes limited. So this is why you want to be able to take anything in like your carrots and stuff like that. Vitamin E now deficiency impair the humoral and cell mediation immunity and is associated with reduced natural killer cell activity. So just deficiency, and right there you can see as a good example they give you multiple deficiency now will end up causing you to just your immune system that's not going to work. So you will have constant infections. So what I've noticed that when you do these things, you can go years without a cold infection, flu infection, and this is the time of the season when we go into the winter where these infections increase. You can eliminate that or reduce them greatly. And as I say, anything I say here, 80, 90, 95% of people will get good results. Others probably there's something else that must be investigated. Notice here examples in minerals now, which is what I'm here for. Copper, as an example, deficiency is associated with altered immune response and an increased risk of infection, especially in infants and older adults. So everything you read here, it's cited. There's site. I can't show you the sites, but if you go to the original article, you can see where they're getting this information from multiple research and studies. Children need copper and older people need copper. But I need copper. Notice here, low magnesium status is associated with decreased immune cell activity. So just the immune activity needs to go, and you have an infection, the immune cell won't get going because you have magnesium. So you can understand why I supplement with magnesium for various different reasons. All these deficiency will affect your ability to be healthy. So you need magnesium. Low magnesium status increase oxidative stress. So if you have stress in yourself going on, magnesium is a relaxer. Remember, potassium is to clench the muscle, to make the muscle hard. Magnesium is to relax the muscle. You need both. So you need magnesium and potassium. And if you need to relax, that's why normally if somebody is constipated, they'll give them magnesium citrate or magnesium oxidate, I think it's called. And you'll find it'll make the person goes, it will relax down there. Magnesium oxide will pull water into the colon. So if you use both, one will relax down there, the colon, and then the other will pull water so that everything can flow out better. And they do this, they use it in even clinical setting. Also, magnesium increases inflammation, increases levels of some inflammatory cytokines such as interleukin B. Oh, low magnesium, sorry. You'll have more inflammation. So because remember, anything to do with deflation, not deflation, but anything to do with relaxation, magnesium is important. Selenium deficiency might adversely affect the immune response. So if you decrease in selenium, it will adversely affect the immune response as well as pathogenesis of viruses. So I always knew, I remember I'd learned this years back, that in some areas, I can't remember if it was Brazil or where it was, that they found that the carrots, it was carrots, I think, was at I can't remember how high of a percentage of selenium inside of them in comparison to say a carrot that's grown, say in America. They randomly test some carrots, and so if you have certain disease like cancer, you're going to be needing your selenium. But if you could be even juicing, you're just not getting the amount for the immune system to work as powerful. The European Society of Clinical Nutrition and Metabolism states that low intake or status of several micronutrients, including vitamin A, E, B6, B12, zinc, selenium, are associated with worse outcome in patients with viral infection. So zinc is involved in numerous aspects of cellular metabolism. It is necessary for the catalytic activity of approximately 100 enzymes, and it plays a role in many body processes, including both the innate and adaptive immune system. So passive and adaptive. So where the immune system need to figure out something that it never saw, and then figure out a solution, and then just where it normally just will protect us in general for infections or stuff like that. Zinc. So if you don't have zinc, 100 enzymes need zinc for their processes, catalytic processes, to convert and to do what they need to do. So you can see how powerful zinc is. So if you're deficient in zinc, you could just be diseased. It's just a deficiency. Zinc also has antiviral, anti-inflammatory processes. So if you want to take down inflammation, you want to use zinc. That's why I use it on a daily basis. And it helps maintain the integrity of tissue barriers, such as the respiratory epithelial. So again, I find that says my sinus problems and stuff are better when I use zinc on a daily basis. Zinc deficiency adverse affect the immune function by impairing the formation, activation, and maturation of lymphocytes. So if you don't have zinc, then what will happen is that you will not have just a proper formation of lymphocytes. In addition, zinc deficiency decrease the ratio of helper to suppressor T cells production of interleukin 2 and activity of natural killer cells and cytotoxic T cells. Furthermore, zinc deficiency is associated with elevated levels of pro-inflammatory mediators. These effects on immune response probably increase susceptibility to infections and inflammatory disease, especially those affecting the lungs. So if you want better lungs, zinc. Studies have found association between low zinc status and higher risk of viral infection. And people with zinc deficiency have a higher risk of diarrhea and respiratory diseases, so lungs and colon. So if again somebody was having some problem with colorectal problem or any of those things, big supplementation. Poor zinc status is also common among people with HIV and hepatitis C, and is a risk factor for pneumonia, lungs again, in older adult. So zinc. So you can see now why A lot of time people are just falling apart. What they are is they're falling apart from what they were made from. They need some earth. Some research suggests that zinc supplementation increased the number of T cells in the blood of older adults living in nursing homes. So you can see how this is powerful. So you could stop a lot of the infections that happen to people in nursing homes by just giving zinc. And so that was taken from the NIH.gov fact sheet, and it's on the immune function health professional. So this is what they put out for health professionals to look at. So somebody was working in nursing homes and they have a lot of infections in the nursing home. You would want to supplement on zinc. That's what I would do. Another thing I want to talk about here now is selenium. Selenium, again, is the other big hitter when it comes on to nutrients, micronutrients that are mineral based or mineral micronutrients for the immune system. So selenium helps with reproduction. Firstly, selenium is necessary for reproduction. So if you want to reproduce, you want to be able to take your selenium. Also, for thyroid glands, selenium is incorporated into selenoproteins, which help the thyroid antioxidant defense. So the thyroid will fight off or be defensive for your immune system. You want to know that it could be a deficiency in selenium. Selenium also helps with DNA reproduction. So any type of problems you have in, I'd say any autoimmune disease problem, any type of thing that will be affected with DNA reproduction, selenium. So selenium is important for DNA reproduction. Selenium also protect from damages. Selenium protects the body from damages caused by free radicals and infections. So anything to do with your immune system, iron and selenium. Selenium has been shown for cardiovascular health. So for cardiovascular health, they've shown that people who supplement on selenium or foods that are high in selenium, what normally happens is that they increase their cardiovascular, so blood flow, heart function. Many research have shown that there is an increase in cardiovascular function. And so if you're having any type of sickness like this, you want to be able to use selenium. Cancer, colon cancer and various different cancers, selenium is important for the immune system. And so cancer is a disease, a virus. And so you want to be able to use selenium to increase the action of the, what did I call it, the T cell, the immune cell. And so colon cancer have been studied for this, and they've shown patients do better when they supplement on selenium. For cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease, they have done many studies, again, just summarizing some things here. And what they have shown is that for cognitive decline, when a person is getting older or they're just having cognitive decline period, they have shown that selenium supplementation increase on test scores and on various different cognitive diseases like Alzheimer's. They've shown that patients do better when they supplement on. The brain works better when a person supplements and don't have a deficiency. But they have shown association with cognitive decline in older people and people with Alzheimer's, a deficiency in selenium. So simply supplementing on selenium have been shown. So this is not an opinion here. All this is, you can actually get this from NIH. I probably should copy the link. It's been shown to increase brain function and function. So for me, I need my brain. So you can see why these are important. They've shown that people who have low selenium, that they have more morbidity and mortality from HIV, and that higher rates of selenium makes the immune system better, and HIV kill people less, both infant and adults that have taken up HIV. If they caught HIV by whatever reason, selenium will decrease the mortality and the morbidity. That means how dangerous or how much damage the HIV does to the system. So this is why I want to use selenium. Also, male fertility. Again, if you think about male fertility, normally you think about zinc. Secondarily, it would be selenium. So selenium and zinc for male fertility, they have done many studies and show that men that has infertility problem, they're low in selenium. When they increase the selenium, they increase their, I think specifically they were talking about the, all of a sudden I have, but it's the sperm motility. That's what it is. Sperm become more motile when a person has a high amount of selenium. So, so because remember the sperm have to swim to cause pregnancy. And so the sperm will be, I don't know how to say flaccid, but it can't be active. So they find selenium increases this and the sperm become more motile. I know there's something inside the sperm that's more motile, whatever that is. So thyroid function, thyroid disease is associated with low selenium. So you want to be able to supplement on selenium and then watch to see if you improve. And again, if your thyroid is not working, also your immune system will be decreased. So these supplements, as I say, are key to your health. And deficiency in them can cause disease. Clothes are more, we could say, but those are important. So remember the degree I'm saying this. As I say, if you understand that deficiency will result long term in disease, and if you already have a disease, an emergency or medical scare, and you're now settled down, you want to be able to start doing some lifestyle, some simple things, burning bush things. In other words, they might be simple, but they're powerful. And you take these simple remedies and you will have an amazing experience, and you will recognize that there is such a thing as a burning bush or clay or something that can heal. But they're going to be simple, and it might seem not so, but the body needs nutrients. You'll die without these nutrients. As I say, these things like selenium or iron, if you're deficient in it or low in it, it will cause more mortality and morbidity. You want to avoid that. We close with Isaiah chapter 2, verse 17, and it says here, "And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low. The Lord alone shall be exalted in that day, and the idols he shall utterly abolish." So we want to abolish all these idols. If you don't have an emergency, you just use supplementation, you use natural remedies, water. If you can get mineral-rich water, whatever, you soak in some Epsom salt, some Dead Sea salt, you'll be amazed. Isaiah 40, verse 1 onwards, it says, comfort ye, my people, saith the Lord. Speak ye comfortable to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, and that her iniquity is pardoned. For she hath received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. The voice of him that cried in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low. And the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. The glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. The voice says, cry. And he said, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodliness thereof is as the flower of the field. The grass withereth, and the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. The grass withereth, and the flower fadeth, but the word of our God shall stand forever. So the word of God stands forever. You need some minerals. That's my message here today. You need some lifestyle change. You need some water, some exercise. You need some simple food. You need some simple healing modalities, some simple remedies. That's what you do for a day-to-day basis. Everything I said to you here is what I do and what I practice. And I find my health is very good and it's getting better and always getting better. And when I get a hit, I go harder to recover. Let us pray. Our Father who art in heaven, I thank you for your word in this day. I thank you for the way that you bless and guide. I pray that you may be with us, dear Father, that we might truly submit to your ways and your keeping, because you created us and you know what's best for us, that we might be healed, we might be revived, and we might live and not die. May you bless us, we pray, for Christ's sake. Amen. Well, thanks for being with me here on Revive Reform Radio. Looking forward to talking to you again live tomorrow. We should talk about current events. Until then, I pray that you may continue to walk with the King.